So Matthew 5:38-42 says the following: "You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist an evildoer. But if anyone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your coat, give your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go also the 2nd mile. Give to everyone who begs from you, and do not refuse anyone who wants to borrow from you." This passage is talking about retaliation, and as humans we're awful at retaliation. We just don't do it well. Now, we've got this Old Testament quote here. It's quoting from Leviticus 24:19-21, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And that basically was the law's way of saying don't over retaliate, which is exactly what we as humans have a tendency to do. I don't know how long ago it was that you were in a playground situation, but let's face it, how quickly did it escalate from a kick or a nudge to a playground scrap? Because people don't retaliate like for like. If someone nudges here, you thump them back. If someone thumps you, you kick them. If someone kicks you, it's a full-on fight. We don't retaliate well. So this, in essence, is a story of extreme non-retaliation. This line here, to turn the other cheek. Now, a lot of people think that this is sort of really uber pacifistism, where you're sitting there saying, oh, you've hit me in the face, do it again, hit me again. Well, actually it's not. The story here, it's a little bit toilet humour, I'm not going to lie. So for you, as it says here, to be struck on the right cheek, if someone's doing that, they use their left hand to slap you on the right cheek. Now, the reason why they do that is the left hand is deemed to be, in ancient Near East culture, your clean hand. So that's a rebuke, and it's an open hand slap. Left hand to the right cheek, that's a rebuke. What would be stronger is if you were to use your fist, a closed hand, or the back of the hand, or if you were to use your right hand. Now, your right hand is deemed unclean because it's the hand you use to clean after going to the toilet. So basically, by Jesus saying turn the other cheek, what he's saying is, if you want to go further, if you want to hit me again, you're going to need to either use the back of your hand or your toilet hand, your unclean hand. If you strike me again, you better be serious, because it ramps it up. So it is pacifism, but it's putting the ball back in the other person's court. It is, in essence, saying, it's down to you. Are you going to make something really big of this? Or are you going to back down? And this passage is actually it is extreme. It's a passage of extremes. Some of these challenges are huge. If anyone wants to sue you and take your coat, give him your cloak as well. If anyone forces you to go 1 mile, that was a soldier's prerogative. They could ask anyone to take their kit for them 1 mile. That was a Roman soldier's prerogative. Go the 2nd. This is about extreme generosity. So this message of extreme generosity is something that we're meant to take to hand. It's a story of not retaliating, but it's also a story of going the other way. This passage is prompting us to not be people who just do the minimum required by law. It's telling us to go over the top. We know as humans we don't retaliate well. In fact, normally that's where we go over the top. Normally that's where we misjudge our response. We go over the top in retaliation. But this passage is telling us to go over the top not in our retaliation, but in our generosity. Go the extra mile. Give to everyone who begs from you. Do not refuse anyone who wants to borrow from you. These are extreme, over-the-top, generous actions that Jesus is prompting us to do here. It is totally upside down. It is totally back to front. The law allowed you to retaliate up to a certain level. You were allowed by law to retaliate up to the level that you had been wronged. But Jesus says, show mercy. Turn the other cheek. Ask them if they're willing. Is that something that you really want to do now? Are you going to that level? And he's prompting us to show just incredible, upside down, over the top generosity.